is Patriots week. Finally, what is going on? My name is Matt O'Leary, back with another video. I will be previewing the New York Jets matchup against the New England Patriots. The 1-1 Jets against the 0-2 New England Patriots. The Jets have a chance to effectively end the season of the New England Patriots if they were to beat them at home. And for the first time since the year of our Lord 2015. Long overdue. Long overdue. Here's how these two teams look on offense. It's not pretty. The Jets are 27th. The New England Patriots are 24th in the league through 2 weeks. On the defensive side, both about middle of the pack. The Jets 15 and the New England Patriots 17. Both defenses are better defenses than I would imagine that those numbers improve by year end. But right now, bottom tier offense, middle of the pack defensively for both sides. So the massive storyline in this game is that the New York Jets are 0 for their last 14 against the New England Patriots. It is a streak that has gone on for far too long, and Robert Saleh can talk about all day long that he doesn't care about this streak. He's taking it one game at a time, and he's only been here for 2 years. He's 0-4 against them. I get that. I understand it. But the fans care. I care about this. I care about it. The New England Patriots are no longer a good football team. They are not the same level of team that they were from pretty much the time this streak started through 2019. From 2020 to 2022, the Jets blew opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Specifically last year, more on that in a little bit, but Jets 0 for their last 14. And Zach Wilson specifically 0-4 against the New England Patriots. Now, to be fair, his second start lasted 10 snaps or 10 passes because he was hurt in the game, and the Jets offensive line kind of just watched as he got crushed. But anyway, here's his career numbers against New England. Cover your ears, children, if this is your trigger warning now, because it's not pretty. 50.94 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 694 yards, 6.54 yards per attempt, a 50.6 rating, and 11 sacks in those 4 games. Grotesque, just absolutely abysmal numbers. You can make the argument that Zach's worst games as a pro came against the New England Patriots. Something that I choose to look at as a positive is the run game in this game for the New York Jets, because the Patriots have never seen Breece Hall, and I know you're going to say, well, Matt, they only used Breece Hall 4 times last week. That's a joke. That's abysmal. That will never happen again. They came out and said this week, Robert Saleh said it, and pretty much it was hinted at today by the offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett that won't happen again this week. And the Patriots defense allowed 145 rushing yards in their last time out against the Miami Dolphins. I get it. Their scheme up there, or down there, I guess, in Miami, is really, really good. Mike McDaniel does a great job with them. But with Breece Hall, the Pats have never seen him. In both games last year, Breece Hall was already done for the year at that point. That was, the coming off the game against the Denver Broncos. There was no Breece Hall, there was no AVT in either of those games, and it really made a big difference, specifically because last year on this Jets defense, they were stellar against New England. And again, I keep getting ahead of myself. More on that in a second. I want to focus on the run game. The Pats defense is susceptible to the run game, and this seems like the perfect time to give Breece Hall 15 carries in the game. I think, so I don't think he's getting to 20 yet. I don't think he's getting 20 touches again. 10 to 15, somewhere on the higher side. He got 10 in week 1, 4 in week 2. That number has to go up. Something we saw in week 2 that cannot happen again in week 3. We talked about them not running the ball nearly enough, but their personnel usage was an absolute joke. I've talked about it all week long, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because it can't happen again against the New England Patriots this week in this game. 75% of the plays in week 2, the Jets ran out of 11 personnel, which is 3 wide receiver sets. They also at times ran empty backfield sets against the Dallas Cowboys as their offensive line was getting beaten time and time and time again. It made 0 sense. You need to get Jeremy Ruckert on the field, which is someone else that Robert Saleh called out, who needs more playing time because of his blocking ability. Multiple tight end sets, 2 or 3 tight ends on the field, and play smash mouth football. Is it pretty? No. Could it be effective? Yes, especially against this New England team, and especially when you have a backup quarterback in. That's what Zach Wilson is at this point in his career. He's a backup level quarterback, and when you have to go to your backup, you need to do everything possible to make sure that he's in a situation to succeed. Not talking about him as the number 2 overall pick anymore. Not talking about him as a future potential starter. I'm talking about him for what he is, which is a backup quarterback on this team who's being plunged into playing, and what you have to do is just get him to a point where he is managing the game and cannot make that crucial mistake. Smash mouth football, get multiple tight ends on the field, and specifically, like, looking at the New England Patriots, Matt Judon is one of the better pass rushers in the league, so it doesn't get significantly easier for this New York Jets offensive line, which is worst in the league in pass pro efficiency. Don't worry, New England's isn't much better. They are just really, really bad. Both teams are bad at pass pro. So how do you not put an extra tight end on the field and help out Dwayne Brown, who was getting absolutely dog walked by Micah Parsons last week? You got to do it. Multiple tight ends on the field. It's going to be a big day, I think, at a bare minimum in the blocking game for Jeremy Ruckert. I talked about it. Last year's two games were arguably the most frustrating games that I've watched in recent memory because there was no reason for the Jets to lose either of those games. The first time out there, the Jets allowed one offensive touchdown, and they lost the game because their quarterback turned the ball over 3 times. They lost 22-17, and only allowed one touchdown because, again, the quarterback turned the ball over a couple of times and pretty much gifted them a free 3 points. It was a bend but don't break day. Defensively, they were really, really good. And then the second time out, they lost without allowing a touchdown on defense. They lost the game 10-3 on a punt return for a touchdown. Thank you, Braden Mann, because their offense couldn't do a damn thing and their punter stunk. That's why they lost last year. The defense has done its job against the New England Patriots time and time and time again. It is now a perfect opportunity for this defense to bounce back after they struggled last week. The New England Patriots offense has been, scheme-wise, it's better than what it was. And I think Mac Jones has looked better, but the run offense has really struggled. And their offensive line has shown that they're susceptible to a pass rush. Trent Brown is good on the left side of the line. No question about that, but Calvin Anderson over at right tackle struggled a little bit so far. Cole Strange on the interior at left guard hasn't played very well. So the interior is an opportunity where I think you could get Quentin Jefferson and Quentin Williams after the quarterback from the interior spot. Again, the Jets pass rush needs to show some life because they did not look good in week 2 against the Dallas Cowboys after looking very solid in week 1. I think they get back into form against an offensive line that is struggling right now. Okay, stat line predictions. I'll give you stats for what I think is going to happen in this game. We'll start with the quarterback, Zach Wilson. Don't ask him to do too much. Run the ball this week. Get the ball moving. 30 plus times is the number. I have Zach Wilson 13 of 22, 132 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. That is about as boring of a game as he could play as humanly possible. He needs to add also about another 40 rushing yards on top of that. He was good when he was at the end of the first half in the 2-minute drill when he was tucking it and run. If nothing's there, tuck it, run, or throw it away. I know 13 to 22, 132 yards, that's not a good stat line, but it doesn't matter. The defense is going to be the thing that keeps the Jets in this game. As for Breece Hall, give me 14 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown. I think Breece Hall is much more involved this week. I think Dalvin Cook also gets more than 4 carries. And I think Michael Carter gets involved as well. I think those three, including with Zach Wilson, who should run the ball probably 5 to 7 times, they eclipse 30 carries, and you're looking at about somewhere around, I don't know, I'll say 32 carries and over 150 rushing yards, somewhere in that range. As for Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 6 of the 13 completions go to Garrett Wilson for 72 yards, no touchdown. So that, with all that aside, we have what my stat line predictions is. No turnovers for Zach Wilson, but a pretty meh day passing and a rushing touchdown. I think this is a low-scoring game for the New York Jets. They are 2.5-point underdogs at home. I understand why they are underdogs at home because of Zach's performances in years gone by against this team. And oh yeah, by the way, the Patriots have beaten them 14 times in a row. But this is the time. It is changing. I am taking the Jets plus 2.5, and I am taking them to win outright in an ugly game that sets the NFL back about 45 years, 16-10, an ugly 16 points, 1 rushing touchdown in this game for the New York Jets, and 3 field goals gets them to 16, and New England Patriots scores one time on offense and kick a field goal. Jets defense looks really good. Let's go to Casey and see who she likes. Casey is on those New England Patriots. She thinks the streak gets up to 15. We will see if that one comes to fruition. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Please make sure to like the video before you go. Send to a friend, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.